Yeah, there you go.
That's not religion. That's science, isn't it? So anything can be dogmatic.
There you go.
Monolithic. So yeah.
So going back to the argument, number one, my first criteria is the Quran. If we're claiming it's from God, the Quran is the only one that makes the claim. It hasn't been corrupted, hasn't been changed, and the core belief is the same no matter what sect you follow. One God, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the final messenger. We believe in the prophets, the angels. Amtu billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi, the books, the angels, wa rusulihi wal yawmil akhir, the day of judgment. All good and bad is from Allah, destiny, etc., etc. We got 6 articles of faith. Every Muslim will accept this. But when you ask a Christian, it's different. Like last week, a Christian was telling me, the New Testament.
You get into big debates with Christians here.
To be honest, Joe, with me, I'm not here to
You're not being combative.
I'm here because the thing is, I believe the veracity of Islam, and if I believe in the veracity of Islam so much, I'm going to let my argument do the talking. And you got the people that can make their own decisions. The thing is, ultimately, Joe, I believe that guidance isn't going to come from me. I can't change your mind. And even when you look psychologically, some of our best thinking is done unconsciously. Let's just say you're high, because cigarettes or alcohol or whatever, and the high is wearing off, and I don't know, you're just looking out the window, you're just staring at a tree. Sometimes when you're by yourself, you look around, and I believe that if you're sincere, Joe, then our conversation will come to you in a different light at that moment. I'm not just relying on this dialogue, and the thing is, I'm not so arrogant to believe that I can change you or change anybody here. I believe that the God that I worship, the God whose commands I follow, it's Sunday, mate. I'm a handsome guy, I could be out there, I could be doing whatever, but I'm here, and I'm telling people about this. I'm gonna get no reward from you. You know what I'm saying? You're not paying me, I'm not getting paid by anybody, but it's something that I genuinely believe, that if you're depressed, or if you lose a loved one, or if you're heartbroken, I genuinely believe that Islam will help you in those moments. And I've seen with a lot of people, we have to pick up the pieces. We have to pick up the pieces. People are upset, they're depressed, and after something's happened, we're very reactive. But the Chinese have a good kind of philosophy, which is be proactive. Preventative medicine.
There's a lot of good stuff from Confucius.
Exactly.
He was a very clever guy.
So I'm also saying this, that rather than saying, okay, that person's done this, that person's done that, okay, let me undo years of trauma that you've gone through, why don't I equip you with something that's going to help you the next time you're going through a trauma, or you've lost a loved one, or whatever it may be.
It could be helpful, man. I'm definitely gonna I started reading again, so I'm definitely gonna read the Quran. But I'm gonna have to finalize this conversation. But I wanted to hear, before I go though, go through that list. So you got the Quran's not being corrupted, and the second one was.
So the Quran's not being corrupted. We can trace it back even by non-Muslim sources. Number 2, looking at the veracity of the Prophet, analyze his prophecies. There's a very good book, it's a free book, you can get it from that table, called Forbidden Prophecies. So Forbidden Prophecies goes through prophecies that Nostradamus has made, the Mayans made, Joseph Smith and the likes, and then it talks about the Prophet Muhammad's prophecies, how they are even unraveling today, how they're relevant for us today, and how specific, how on point, how sublime they actually are. So I would say second thing would be the prophecies of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
The accuracy of how prophetic it is.
Exactly. And the third I already mentioned, which was Islam is the only one that, if you look, actually gives you a practical instruction manual.
Specific.
How to go to the toilet, how to communicate, how to distribute inheritance. So the laws are very specific.
It's not shrouded in certain narratives that you need to interpret in order to understand. It's much more literal in terms of how to live by it.
Just have a question. I would question those. Look into it by all means. Absolutely. but look into it with an open mind, because I would dispute the fact that it hasn't been corrupted.
Okay.
Having done research, I would say that there is corruption within it. So be prepared to question as well as look into it.
Well, no, but one point I made is that like even if something.
But do you want to give maybe the evidence for corruption? Otherwise,
Sorry?
do you want to maybe back up your claim
we did discuss that earlier about like the fact that interpretations of anything means it can be
What we mean by
corrupted.
corruption.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are a few things.
No, it's all right.
Yeah. Was there? So yeah, in terms of prophecies, in terms of preservation, in terms of relevance in our lifestyle, in terms of comprehensiveness, in terms of practicality. Yeah, the Quran stands head and shoulders, and Islam stands head and shoulders above the other religions.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's definitely be
Just
worth
consider as well that
But I don't have a standpoint.
Yeah,
of
no,
like,
sure.
my view is that like I think there's validity in. I don't really have a standpoint, so I just want to hear what people have to say.
yeah, of
So
course,
like yeah.
Just on that, you want to hear what people. This has to be the most softly spoken group ever. Can you guys? my son Isa, we're from miles away. He was like, I can't hear anything, Dad. Please, sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
I would say if yes, Islam is a noble religion, but I would say as a Christian, it's not about being religious, it's about having a relationship with God, and that's made possible through what Jesus Christ has done. Religious people don't go to heaven, forgiven people go to heaven, and we need to ask, where can we find forgiveness? And to me as a Christian, it's only found at the foot of the cross of Jesus Christ, who shed his blood for us. So that's what I would say, and although, yes, look into it, everything may seem to have validity. Jesus has a picture of a broad road that leads to destruction, and alongside it a narrow road which leads to life. And he says few will find it. So the Bible says there's a way that seems right unto man, but its end is destruction. So we can be sincere in following something, but sincerely wrong. So that's why truth is important. That's why it's important to have these discussions.
Definitely,
And it's
without a
good.
doubt.
Good.
Yeah, man.
But
No,
then-
I just wish that I like both ideas, Christianity and Islam. I would like what I want to do is kind of like extrapolate. This is what I would like to do in my lifetime in terms of my spiritual realization. I want to be able to extrapolate. I know this doesn't work for you guys because you both have this thing it's like this way or no other way, right? But I want to be able to extrapolate what I like from both faiths and synthesize my own ideology, basically.
But
So
I get-
this is why I'm enjoying listening to both of you,
Yeah.
so I can, take on board what you both have to say, and then you'll probably see it as a mutation, but for me it's like my own truth,
But Joe, I guess one thing that I would say is Quran is a synthesis of all the scriptures and all the prophets that came before anyway.
Yeah, I
For
remember you
example,
saying that,
the Quran has a chapter on Mary. Yeah, it talks about Jesus. It talks about the prophets.
Well, it's definitely newer than Christianity. It started much later on in the medieval times. Yeah.
And Islam, unlike Christianity, of course, I mean, we had a discussion. I don't want to put you in an awkward position where he then says something and then I have to give a response to that, because then people will say, oh, how come you didn't respond to that? But I don't want to I know you're in an uncomfortable position where
No,
you're
cool,
trying to
man.
be nuanced. So yeah, that was what we say as Muslims. Of course, there's fundamental differences between Islam and Christianity. Like, sorry, what's your name?
Yeah, Mark.
Mark, yeah. So Mark was saying that they believe that you have to go through Jesus and Jesus died for everybody's sins, etc., etc. But of course, we do have a counter, but we can maybe discuss after our discussion comes to a conclusion. But yeah. Those are a few things. You can get forbidden prophecies. It's on that table.
Get it, yeah, I'm gonna
It's
go
on
get
that
it now,
table.
yeah.
It's free, so just grab
I'm
that.
gonna grab that for sure,
Yeah.
man.
That's definitely worth looking into. You've got the Quran already.
It's great. Now that I lost my phone, I'm reading books again. It's great. So like I was glued to my screen, and yeah, man, it's pleasure meeting you both, man. What's your name
Likewise.
again?
My name's Zishan.
Zishan, yeah,
Zishan.
and yours is Mark, yeah. Joe.
Alongside that,
Yeah.
could I give you a Gospel of Luke?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
For sure. I've been reading like the New Testament, the Old Testament. I mean, like a little bit. Yeah.
Brother, can you get forbidden prophecies from that table, please?
My point is that like I don't have I don't have like a stance on religion as such, but I value it, and I value what you both have to say. You know what I mean? And I know that might sound like I'm an agnostic, but I just want to. Yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. Yeah, but I'm gonna read that Forbidden Prophecies. I've got the Quran as well. Got it off someone else. Yeah, man. So a pleasure.
It's a really good book. It's a really good book. Check it.
Yeah. Oh, man. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Yeah,
Joe.
man.
I'll be here, and not next week. Maybe the week after next week.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to come very regularly. So I'll probably see you guys again. Yeah,
Sounds
man.
good. Sounds
No
good.
doubt you guys are going to get into it. Discussion.
Just a discussion,
I might
sharing
come back
ideas.
and observe in a bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
sounds good.
See you
Sounds good.
later.
All right, Mark.
Yeah, I think the first point was about the Quran you were sharing with your friend. I think for me as a Christian, I became a Christian at university. I studied religious education, and then I had to teach the Quran for A level. So I did read the Quran then at that time. Didn't read it then for quite some years, but in recent years I've come back to reading it. I suppose my difficulty with it is that it claims to confirm that which has gone before, the Torah and the Injil. And yet, when I read it, it doesn't confirm, it seems to conflict and contradict with what has gone before. So I think that's one of my major difficulties when coming back to read it.
Oh, so you're saying your issue